zero.
The message boards is where the first story of Caleb Williams going to USC, his car was seen on a flatbed headed west out of the city. That's Caleb Williams.
What kind of car?
It's like I saw the photo. It's like a blacked out Range Rover. I bet whenever we find out what he's making at SC, it's going to be. I mean, it's the biggest portal signing ever.
Was that
in the short era of the portal.
That was coming west from Sooner Country? You're saying?
Yes, yeah, because it was like, is he? All right, I'm gonna. No, oh yeah, Louisiana is east of Oklahoma.
Yeah, so it was coming this way.
So it had to be headed this way. Yeah, wasn't
so
headed north.
The Sooner money provided the cash.
Yes, the Sooner money is what he got the Range Rover with.
I was told by a friend of the program at the Sooners is Caleb comes from cash. Like his dad has a lot of money. Because I asked, like, is money a big deal? And he said, well, his dad's really rich. It was more. I think he just followed Lincoln, maybe. Obviously.
Well, here's what I'll say. This, like, first of all, have you noticed? The second signing day is on Wednesday. If you're listening to this Wednesday, it's the signing day. It's not as big a deal. Like, you know, a lot of the scholarships have been given out. The signings have been
Is
signed.
it a big deal at all? Haven't people been giving it to transfer portal kids?
Yeah. Well, USC is number 1 24/7 rankings in the transfer portal right now. Ole Miss is number 2. Lane Kiffin.
How do you rank transfer portal kids?
Just whatever the star ranking on the transfer is.
When he was coming out of high school.
So like Caleb, yeah, but I don't think you get, if you stunk, no one really cares if you're a 4-star. But
Caleb Williams maintained his 5-star.
So SC now has they've got a 5-star Caleb Williams, and they got a 5-star quarterback coming in next year's class. So Lincoln's already got 2 5-star quarterbacks.
What was Jerry Rice's kid?
Brendan Rice, I think, they got a lot of attention for the running back from Oregon that transferred to USC, Travis Dye, who led the Pac-12 in total yards last year.
Little number 24.
Was he 24?
Kind of a smaller
no
running
sleeves.
back.
Yeah, no sleeves, no gloves. Austin Jones, who is a running back from Stanford, transferred there. I think Brendan Rice is going to be. Brendan Rice, I've seen him in person. Colorado, he's big. Well, I mean, big. He's like 6'2", 6'3". He's good. Like, he's good. I think he's going to be an impact player for USC
Drake London
next year.
type big receiver?
Not that type. But it's like good returner, scored a couple return touchdowns. He's a really good player. I think he's gonna be a bigger impact player for them than Travis.
I texted a mutual buddy of ours that's on another team in the conference after they kind of kicked their ass. Maybe it was the next day, and we were just talking about it. He said, I was blown away by their lack of talent on their lines. And Coward is like the biggest fucking SC fan. He's talked a ton of shit about their O-line has been terrible for years now. It's been really bad. And D-line, let's face it, just the Pac-12 D-line, beside like Mario getting some guys, hasn't been that great. One thing he had at Oklahoma, their D-line obviously, wasn't great. They've always had. I mean, they get 3 or 4 guys drafted a year in like the top 2 rounds at Oklahoma. That's a big point of difference for Lincoln since he's been there. Like they're producing 1st and 2nd round. The chief starter is Oklahoma's center, Orlando Brown. I mean, just constant.
And he's really
guards,
good, right? Creed
tackles.
Humphrey.
Yeah, just tackles, guards, centers. I mean, that is something that like USC, like if their O-line's not great now, he's not playing SEC teams. And one thing clearly this year, the Big 12, who I think everyone kind of shits on, I think they were pretty good this year, right? Oklahoma State was really good. Baylor's good. Obviously, Oklahoma is good. It just was a
Oklahoma
solid
sneaky
conference.
had a better year than it felt like they were having.
Oh yeah, I mean they had a disastrous year for them, and they went 10-2. So I just wonder, it's just hard.
Yeah, well that's the part they need to
flip it around right away, because how many like sweet offensive linemen are in the portals, and if there are, I mean, isn't everyone trying to sign them?
Yeah, and defensive linemen for that matter, and corner. Like they need corners. Like they need a lot at SC, but it's hard. I mean, other than Utah, everybody's got questions. Everybody. I mean, Oregon stacked. Their coach has never called a timeout before.
It's kind of crazy to me, and again, I'm not trying to overreact to his 3 or 4 games. He needs a lot of work, but it sure feels like Jaxon Dart has a chance to be a first-round player, and they just gave up on him.
Prediction, Jaxon Dart's going to be a top 15 pick.
Well, are we sure Caleb Williams going to be a top 15 pick?
Well, Caleb Williams is not, he's like 6'1", right?
Are we sure that
now, here's the thing.
Of the trade/free agency that Lane, could that guy be better?
Could be, but here's what I'll say. Caleb Williams last year as a true freshman in what you just said was not a terrible Big 12, was 20 touchdowns and 5 picks, I think.
He
And
also,
was
remember
like
that play
with
he
the
made
Spencer.
Remember the K-State play or the Kansas play when they were going to lose? He ripped it out of the guy's hand. He got stripped and then he ripped it back.
And then he ripped it back.
It was a play.
And was not an ideal situation. And here's what I'll say for the guy, because you do wonder, like, when a player takes this long to commit, you're like, what's going on? He did walk into a spot where there's no way Lincoln Riley could have guaranteed him he'd be the starter because Spencer Rattler was there. That's where he went. He went to a place with a 5-star quarterback already there and then kind of took his job. So I think that's a positive reflection of him. But I would, if Matt Corral's going to be a first-round pick, Jaxson Dart's going to be a top 10 pick.
I don't think it's out of the realm possibility if he can do what they did to Matt Corral, that Jaxson Dart doesn't become the number 1 overall pick.
Number one.
Right?
I'll do you one better. Oh, I can't do you one better. Shit. Number 1.
Right? I mean, he's 6'4",
yeah,
he's got a big arm. We just
went from first rounder to 15 to 10 to number 1.
Well, because you just got to go the highest ceiling. Now, after Hackenberg's first year, it's like, this guy, so Rosen, this guy, number 1 overall pick, 12-year pro, 7 Pro Bowls.